Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome back to Let's Talk Oculus 167. It is the 2025 episode. Samson, it's the first episode of 2025. Welcome. Happy New Year. How you doing?
Wow. 2025. Dan, what a futuristic sounding year it is.
It does sound cool, doesn't it? 2025.
Yeah. We're a quarter of the way through the century.
Yeah.
Or whatever that means, you know?
Whatever that means. But it does, I mean, we have a podcast which feels like it's a futuristic podcast with our VR headsets. You know, I'm playing Batman and I am becoming Batman and such. So it is the future.
Dan, I just have one question. Do you think in 2090, around 3000, they'll think of the 2020s like we do the 1920s?
No, I think it'd be slightly different. I think it'd be slightly different. Yeah. I think it'd be slightly different because in the 1920s, you didn't have as many things captured so easily, like via smartphone, for example, and things, sports documented and all that stuff. Like things are in books. There's so much more. Like, so, you know, people will be more prone to watching things that were made in, you know, you think in 2090
they'll be able to understand more. I see what you're saying.
I think people will still watch The Wire and Breaking Bad in 2090.
You think so?
Maybe. Some people still watch movies from that, you know, old.
That's true. I agree. You
know, Snow White came out in the 90s, 30s.
Yeah.
39.
That stuff's forever.
Yeah. Anyway.
Moving right along. We'll be playing the same VR games too.
We probably will. I'm still not finishing them as well. Still not
GTA VR might be out by then.
The San Andreas one? Yeah, maybe. Who's to say? Welcome to the show, everyone. This is the first episode of 2025, but it still kind of feels like our holiday episodes. Because normally in the show we'll go through the news, we'll go through what we've been playing. I mean, we're going to talk about what we've been playing over the Christmas break at least, but this is going to be our predictions episode and also go into tips for Quest 3 S owners, because I'm assuming a lot of people got that over Christmas. At least, you know, it was on top of the App Store and such. So
I know you did.
Yeah, I did. And then also we're going to do our VR New Year's resolutions, that we always keep, you know, at least for the first month.
Yeah, we never keep track of them.
No, we don't. I feel like
we never hold ourselves accountable. Maybe that'll be the New Year's resolution of the show. We actually hold ourselves accountable to our New Year's resolution.
Yeah, I should have just gone back to this show last year and see what our New Year's resolution is, but I didn't, and I forgot until right now.
I don't live life looking in the rearview mirror.
No, we only look forward. And then we're going to look ahead at this month of January and also pick out our little picks of what to look out for. Because obviously we don't know many of the games that are going to be announced for 2025. You know, this time last year, Metro got announced. Which obviously came out and was really good. Batman didn't get announced till like the summertime. Behemoth just kept getting delayed, so we had no idea when that was going to come out, right? So, and then Alien also wasn't announced till later on as well. So we don't know what the big game's going to be.
But we do have a better idea of what's coming out in January.
Exactly. We know what's coming out in January at least, so we can talk about that. But Samson, before we get on with the show, some housekeeping. You can join the Discord if you want to interact with us and interact with a bunch of you guys as well, listeners and followers of the show. It's free. You can check out the link below. If you love us so much, go onto our Patreon, send us $1. That would keep the lights on as well. And then also comment. You can comment on YouTube. You can comment on Discord. You can comment via email at letstalkoculus@gmail.com. But you can also comment via Spotify if you use Spotify for your podcast, like 2 people did very recently. So, Samson, do you want to read out the first comment?
I'd love to. From AJ, who says, I love listening to the podcast. My favorite game of 2024 was Batman, Golf Plus, and Gorilla Tag. And Dan, did AJ really spell favorite that way, or was that you?
Oh, might have been me. In the script, I mean, favorite is spelled with a U I think it's in Canada as well. Color is in Canada. It's spelled with a U, so I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
But in the UK it does. So it's only you, Favor or it, or whatever you say. Anyway,
it's probably Australia too.
Probably everywhere but the States. Solid pick of games there. Batman is obviously your big AAA one. Golf Plus is the one, that you love, especially when it's like raining and such and you can't play that in real life. And then Gorilla Tag is just kind of mindless fun,
Dan, Golf Plus has been pumping out the courses. In fact, I have to stop getting every single one at this point. I gotta hope that my buddy buys every other or something like this.
They just announced Torrey Pines as well.
They've been doing more than one a month. At more than one a month, it's you almost want to just do the subscription. But the thing is, then you don't own them. Oh,
yeah. But then, you get other perks with the subscription, I believe as well. So, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, really, I just don't play it enough. So now I'm just gonna when I go to play it, that's when I'll buy the course. And until then, I'm just gonna be a little bit behind.
That's fair. You got plenty of courses to play anyway. Plenty of courses. We have a second comment. That comment's from Tyler. He says, "Thank you, Dan and Samson, for another great year of podcasts. Can't wait to see what's in store for 2025." Well, thanks to you, Tyler, first of all, for listening and or watching the show on Spotify. But this is the perfect podcast because we get to see what's in store. Actually, I guess he's meaning about the actual podcast, not the games, but same thing. I was trying to make that a nice segue, but it did not work.
I was confused there. But yes, thank you very much, Tyler, for listening. Dan, that was our second full year podcasting together, right?
Yeah, because we started in like summertime the year before, right? So this is proper year 3. I count that summer one year 0.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, this is the
alpha. That was our alpha.
Yeah, we were still testing the waters. The way we were filming the show was absolutely terrible. I would film on.
There are some lost episodes there too.
There are some lost episodes. Like I would film on my camera, and then Samson would film on his camera, and we'll be on Zoom, and then Samson would send me his footage, which would take like 2 hours to upload to Google Drive, and then I would take that.
Slow internet, me.
And then I would try and it was just awful, but we're much better now and we know what we're doing, to be honest.
Vaguely. We pretend like we do.
I think we know.
We certainly know more. We know
more. We know more. We haven't, back then I think we had like maybe 2 or 3 episodes that we just lost or had to re-record. I also remember once just not hitting the record button until like 30 minutes in.
That. Did we hit record? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You scared me then. But yeah. And then sometimes on Zoom, it loses your podcast. Oh, it was a mess. But hey, thanks for enjoying. Thanks for those people who were there from day one. Shout out to Kimberly.
Yes. Shout out to people. Cobalt Dave, Kimberly, Jenna,
Kai.
Dr. Hero, Kai.
Yeah, from day one.
But shout out to Riverside, Dan, because that's what we use now.
Yeah, and
if Riverside wants to sponsor us, we already use your product, so we'll take that.
Yeah, and it's worth every penny. It's really good. All right, let's do some VR. Well, actually, no. Let's keep it relaxed. I have my tea. I've got a 3 ginger tea right here.
There's 3 types of ginger.
I don't know. Apparently, maybe I made it up, but it's a high ginger tea. But anyway. I want to talk first, Samson.
It's like Trace Leches or something, but the British version.
Sure. How was the Christmas break? Now it is January 2nd as we're recording this. We're recording this way later than we should do, but hey, here we are. It's the holidays. How was the Christmas break? How was the VRing in particular?
VRing has been hit and miss, Dan, because I know one of my goals was to play some Metro. And Dan, I tried. I got into Metro and I went through the little labyrinth. I followed the voice as best I could. Spoiler. Sorry that was late. But I ended up getting lost and coming back eventually. And I tried to go through again. And I was just like, I don't have it in me. I can't do this vibe right now. And so I played Trombone Champ for hours.
Yeah.
And I basically completed the campaign, and now I'm trying to finish all of the challenges, basically.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like getting into something like Metro over the holidays, it's very tough. Like that's why Alien was a weird choice coming out so close to the holidays.
Well, you want to be a Christmas game.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It's just like sometimes you're not in the mood, especially in VR. I feel like, I mean, also I've been playing Alien on the Steam Deck, and I didn't hardly played that specific game over a Christmas just because I'm just not really in the mood for a dark horror kind of game. But yeah, that makes sense. Trombone Champ makes a lot more sense.
Trombone Champ, Dan, I am so hooked. It's taken over. And I notice when I play sometimes I'm so focused that I hold my hand in these like tight, weird grips, and then my hand is like gets sore, and I have to like tell myself like relax, like you don't need to do that at all. I don't even really need to hold grip on one of the controllers,
No,
right? But like I'm like, and so I honestly I have to take it in short stints now because the challenges I need to complete take incredible amounts of focus, so much so that I have to say screw it. I'm going with however funky way I have to hold my hand to get these challenges done. But I'm loving it. I finally perfected my first song, Taps, because it's the shortest one.
What's the one that you posted on the Discord recently?
I think it was Taps.
That was Taps, right?
Yes.
You absolutely nailed it. Like, absolutely nailed it. Yeah. Incredible work.
And so now what I'm finding to be one of the hardest challenges is you have to get all perfects on double speed. I don't know if I can do it, Dan. It's a tough one. It's fast. And so that's what I've been working on. The trombone you get when you finish all the campaign, by the way, magnificent. I won't spoil it.
Oh, okay.
But it's good, Dan. It is pretty
cool. Would you
looking.
offer any tips to aspiring players?
I would love to offer some tips. Once I started alternating, I will alternate hitting like the A or X button on my right and left button. And so that allows me to tap very, very fast, much faster than mashing one button.
Do you ever do the trigger?
And I do not do the trigger because it takes too long to press in.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So I realized that too. That the trigger kind of felt a bit natural, but for those fast songs, no chance.
I recommend no trigger. I recommend alternating fingers and kind of going in, like getting in that rhythm. Like every note you're alternating, so it kind of
you can't be.
And
stiff.
then when they're fast, honestly, I'm just mashing them both and hoping that I'm going to the beat. Dan, I just mash and pray.
Fair enough.
And a lot of the time it sometimes works.
And stay loose.
65% of the time it works every time.
Stay loose. You can't be stiff, right? You got to feel the rhythm.
Stretch your hand out. It's and then it's just like any rhythm game. If you keep playing you just got to. It's a grind sometimes. Some of them I haven't really started to feel like it's a grind yet, but as I near trying to platinum this, it will.
That's tough.
I assure it. Yeah. It will probably feel that way. But there's every day until like, what was the last like 10 days of December, they released a new either cosmetic or a song. So that was pretty cool.
And they had the like Christmas kind of theme as well, right? Yeah. Yes.
That was, most of the songs in the cosmetics were holiday themed.
Yeah. Very nice.
Dan, have you gotten into anything though?
I played nothing. Oh, okay. I did do a bit of Walkabout, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But I played nothing but Batman, to be honest. I know I had
how much Batman?
Lot. I think it was like 43% into the game.
Nice.
I actually realized when we talked about it back in like late October, I thought I think I played like an hour or an hour and a half of it and such. But then when I jumped back in over the holidays, probably like 20 minutes later, I finally got the opening credits with the Batman. And I was like, oh, I hardly started playing this. Yeah. Now it starts when you get into the prison.
Near the prison. Yep. That's where I left off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much fun. It's as good as I was saying, even though I realized I didn't play that much in the podcast episode at the end of October. But yeah, it's amazing. The combat is very tiring at times, especially now you get more and more bigger enemies and such. And you get like there's a boss fight with Falcone. Falcone?
Yeah. It's in the Penguin too.
He looks like Penguin to me in the Penguin on HBO. Like he looks like that in Batman Arkham Shadow. So I'm getting confused because I'm like, I'm pretty sure you look closer to the Penguin model than you do Falcone. But anyway, there's a boss fight with him where he brings out you got a bunch of goons that you're fighting, and then he brings out the machine gun and he throws grenades in there, and you have to as you're finding the goons, also dodge the machine gun bullets which go around, and then
machine gun stuff.
There's a lot happening, right? And there's a lot those kind of levels now in a way. It's getting more open. It really feels like Batman Arkham, the mix of Arkham and the first one. Arkham, I can't remember the first one's called. The second one, Arkham City as well. Arkham Asylum, sorry. Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. It feels like a blend within the two, especially with the Rat King feels very similar to the boss in Arkham City as well. So it feels kind of similar to that. But I love the gadgets that you get and all the gadgets now. And I love the fact that when you go into the prison, you're in full disguise and you change your voice and everything like that. And you have to talk. It's really good in terms of interactability. Like there's loads of different NPCs around, and as you walk towards the NPCs, they strike up conversations with one another, so you can kind of eavesdrop on people's conversations, and you can completely skip that. But I find myself going to every single person.
It's eavesdropping around.
Yeah, just kind of hearing what's around, because they've obviously put it in there for a reason, and it probably, you can get through the game without doing that, but it's kind of fun and builds the kind of world that you're in. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I just keep wanting to try to hop in, and it's a big game, like I'm like 43% in. It's not even halfway yet, and it kind of feels, it's weird because it feels like you're close to the end, but you're not. There's still, because there's these like day counters that you have where every time you go to sleep in the prison, it says 4 days until the reckoning or whatever whatever happens and such, and then 3 days and such. So you're like, oh, it's happening soon, but then I'm only so much into the game, right? So it's like, oh, what is going to happen after this? But yeah, just really fun, having a great time. It feels so similar to the actual games on flat screen. It's incredible. Like with Assassin's Creed, that had like elements of what it was like in the real game, but kind of missed the mark in terms of like polish, and didn't feel so perfect, like a one-to-one match, where Arkham Shadow just feels like it's straight off the same line, the production line of those games. It's so like perfectly slots in. It feels so retro, and I'd honestly at the moment still just give it, for VR standards, I'd give it a 10 out of 10 or a 9.5 out of 10, something like that.
It won the VR Game of the Year.
It did, and rightfully so. It's an amazing game.
At the Game Awards, not on Steam.
No, and obviously. It's also perfect for VR newcomers as well. Like it's really
perfect
good
for newcomers. All right, that's where I'm going to stop.
No, it is. Reason why is because first of all, it's a big IP. A lot of people know it, and it's exciting to just be in that kind of world, and you become Batman. Also,
IP, Dan. You need comfort.
Yeah, it is. So that's what I mean. Like, I feel like there's hardly any motion sickness in this game. Just the way they did it. Like when you're running, there's these white shards that come at you, so that kind of reduces them. I know I've used VR for quite a bit, but I've not felt any part.
And you're using the open interface.
That's true. But then, like, even the combat's so kind of user friendly to kind of learn and get used to. And even if you're not that good with the combos, you can still get around. And I think this is the perfect game to be packed in with the Quest 3 to see what it's all about. Asgard's Wrath might have been a bit of overkill in terms of a packing game, but with Arkham Shadow, I think it's the perfect.
I do
blend.
think it's a better packing game.
Yeah. So
I don't think it should be your first experience.
But it'd be, imagine how cool it would be as your first experience. You put it on, you're like, whoa, this is really cool. I don't know. I think you would justify your purchase or justify the gift that you're given as soon as you put it on and you start playing that game. you'll feel it immediately. It's the like you got to think back to when you first tried VR and you get that feeling like being the Batman and how well it is like mapped. It's yeah, great packing game. Great packing game. But yeah, so that's what I've been playing. I did get the Meta Quest 3S. I actually, full disclosure, got that sent from Meta, which was a little bit of a surprise. But they sent that over to me, and I think that's more to do with like creating more videos or shorts with that headset. So at the moment, I've actually left the soft strap on, which every time I like get the soft strap and put it on, I'm like, oh, okay, this is actually way better than what I remember. But then it's so heavy because then as soon as I get back to my Quest 3 and I have like a proper strap on, it just feels way better, way more comfortable, way more lighter and such. But so I've not actually used the Quest 3S much at all. I used it for some shorts that I had to make for Meta, but that was it. But I set it up and everything kind of feels very similar. I could tell obviously the sharpness of the lenses. Like as soon as I went back to Quest 3, all the textures sharper. And you know that feeling that when you got the Quest 3 from the Quest 2, it's exactly the same as that.
Yeah.
But the color pass-through is exactly the same. The controllers are the same. Like everything else is the same, which is cool. But yeah, I've not really had a chance to. That kind of is just on the back of my bookshelf, just as like a pretty ornament for now, until I have to use it for the stuff. But yeah, that's mostly been me. What else have you got going on?
Well, I got into some Drop Dead the Cabin with Live Open Mic, who is very, very good at it, knows everything's got the thing memorized, helped guide me through it.
Nice.
But lo and behold, he was not strong enough to carry me. His shoulders eventually crumbled and succumbed to the weight of my awfulness at the Drop Dead the Cabin. But yeah, it was pretty good. It's a good time. I just have to, it's sort of got like roguelike features where you got to build up. You can build up stats and all that. So,
did you play mixed reality or was this the normal?
No, it's the one that plays like COD Zombies.
Oh, okay. What's the mixed reality one where it's the zombies?
Drop Dead
Home Invasion.
Yes, Home Invasion.
Yeah. Okay. So they're slightly different. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay. As you were.
Yep. As I was and as I am, I got into Piano Vision. It's completely updated the game and now has like some sort of AI tutorial type of deal, which is honestly kind of cool. It's really, really good with numbers on your fingers. Honestly, I had to figure out how to turn it on while playing because it was just in the tutorial that I had them, but it tracked the fingers really well. Yeah. And I did sign up $10 for the 1 month just to see what it offered. Lots and lots of songs. Like it claims 10,000 plus or something.
Oh my gosh.
But what they have are like very random songs from these very random artists. Like you go to Norah Jones and you'll have like 2 or 3 songs from like 3 different albums, something like this, And also a lot of the songs are really, really, really freaking hard.
Yeah.
So I set it to like 3 stars and below because that's basically all I can handle at my. I still can't really do it well.
Well, this ain't
Charlie
Trombone
Brown.
Champ.
I had Charlie Brown,
Nice. Very nice. I was going to say this is not Trombone Champ, right? This is a proper piano tutorial.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're really actually playing the friggin' instrument. Yeah.
Yeah. If Trombone Champ was like that, I don't know if you'd be handling those perfect songs.
No, I can't buzz my lips that well.
Exactly. So that's fair enough. But you got a keyboard as well, right? So you're using this with a keyboard.
I am.
Yeah. Somewhere behind you, but it's out of shot. Yeah. Okay. For the video watchers, Samson's showing you a keyboard. It's a black keyboard.
Yeah. It's got 61 keys.
Nice. I'm sure you could get like one of those like MIDI kind of keyboards or like something smaller to have on your desk as well. I guess it's 61 keys. It's always going to be that big, isn't it? It doesn't matter if it's keyboard.
Yeah, I mean, I can pack it up. Like I have a key. Like it goes flat, and then I just put it behind something.
Nice. Yeah, fair enough. That's cool though, because obviously you can play it in mixed reality on your desk, which is still a really cool feature to get people interested.
Yes, with the hand tracking. Yeah.
Yeah, to get people interested, but then obviously playing it on the actual keyboard would be really cool. Okay, is this something that is you kind of want to keep up for the year? Try and learn
The
a bit.
year? No, but the month. Yeah.
Sure, fair enough. New Year's resolutions and all.
Then I got into Ancient Dungeon. Dan, been crushing Ancient Dungeon. Though now Noble Squashy is on a little bit of a break, and it's just been the holidays. I haven't gotten really much into VR in the last week or so, but I'm loving it. It's so much fun. It's about like five different levels I've unlocked. There's 2 different levels have alternate levels, if you will, and I finally unlocked those. I haven't tried them yet, and it's just a good time to grind.
I'm pretty sure I have this game. I think I've played it once before.
We did it for one of the LTO streams.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, I haven't played this game then. I just watched it. It was really cool. Yeah. I can see why you're addicted to that game. It's got really cool the art style itself.
The pixel.
Yeah. Voxel. It's like a Minecraft-y kind of feel in a way, but then like those.
It's hard single player. I'm having a much easier time and a much more fun time in multiplayer.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, great.
And then last but not least, another rhythm game from your rhythm game junkie over here, Smash Drums, Dan, because I finally got into the latest DLC that had Blur Song 2, Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. Thanks for the Memories from Fall Out Boy, The Pretender by the Foo Fighters, and Snow by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I played all except the Foo Fighters song.
That might be, personally, probably the best music pack that they've put out.
It's a good one. It's a doozy.
There's some bangers in there.
I think my favorite one was probably the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I was jumping around.
A bit slower pace too compared to the rest of the songs. Because song 2 is really fast. Bring Me to Life can get really fast. I actually don't know any Fall Out Boy, to be honest. I missed that complete trend.
I know some of them, but I couldn't really.
And the Pretender obviously gets really fast too. So I guess I can see why, but it's also a very nice, like chilled out song to play.
And that is it's pretty much my break. I got into a little bit of something else, but it's so little that it's not worth talking about.
Fair enough. I did play a bit of Walkabout too from time to time, just like randomly. I played with my uncle at one point as well. Played a few courses as well. I realized that he, obviously we did the Walkabout episode last time and we did like our top courses of 2024. Kind of asked him, and the Ice Lair and the 8-bit Lair and the Wallace and Gromit were all at the bottom. He hates the gimmick. He just likes to play standard mini golf. He's not interested in all of the like gimmicky kind of things, which was quite funny because that was very opposite to what a lot of everyone else was saying in a way. But had a good time in there.
So what's his number one?
What did he say? Venice. Venice was his number one. Yeah,
classic mini golf. That's what we say. That's what we say. We say if you want, just get to the mini golf. Boom. That's a good one.
So that's definitely a good one. All right, Samson. Now, a bunch of folks have probably just got a VR headset. Maybe they've upgraded from the Quest 2. Maybe it's their first one with the Quest 3S, or maybe the Quest 3. Maybe they went all out and went for that 512 Quest 3. So we thought, obviously we've kind of done this one before, like last year and such, and it's a good time to kind of, go over this a little bit more because we have new listeners, new people with VR headsets itself. So what we're thinking of doing is like, let's go through maybe 2 tips each for new Quest owners.
Bing, bam, boom.
Just 2 tips each. Sam, I'm going to start first. First one I'm going to say is to make sure you activate the MetaQuest Plus trial. This is something that comes packed in with the box, and it's 3 months for new owners itself.
Dan.
Yeah.
I'm going to interlude here, sorry. But you could wait. I'd say wait until you find a month that you want those 2 games.
Yeah, I agree. So, well, actually, that's what I did, right? So when the Quest 3 came out in October 2023, right? Yeah, my gosh. Okay. Feels
Yep.
like ages ago now, right? 2023. Wow. Okay. When that came out, I did definitely wait until the very last minute, which I think was at the end of January, because I wanted to just wait until the two games that they were releasing, which is two free games every month. Free in air quotes in a way. Obviously, you'll end up paying for the subscription if you want to keep them and such. So I waited, but the games catalog wasn't really a thing, or wasn't a thing at all then, right? So
It really wasn't worth it.
yeah, like with your what you said, maybe, but at the same time, there's 20 plus games or 25 games or so in the games catalog, and I had a look earlier, and Walkabout Mini Golf is in there. Asgard's Wrath 2 is in there, for example.
It has a great
yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of different random games in there. So to start off, you don't even need to pay for anything. You have Batman, and you have a Quest 3 a Quest Plus trial for 3 months with all those 25 games in there. I'd say go for it now, unless you know what you're getting, because at least then you can just like cherry pick on unless you already plan to buy Walkabout and all that stuff, and then some of those games from the catalog probably not worth it. Then obviously wait for those when you want those two games. Although I think it's the end of January,
you do have a limited amount of time.
Yeah, so
I do think it's several months. No,
I think it's just Quest 3 was end of January, so I don't know with this one, but yeah. So activate. The reason why I say like activate it is that it's not very clear when I set up the Quest 3S. Like it tells you to kind of redeem Batman, which is obviously fair enough. It's on the box and all that stuff. But the Quest Plus is kind of hidden.
More hidden?
Yeah, it's kind of hidden. So if it doesn't pop up, I don't think it popped up when I was setting it up. You go onto the Quest app on your phone. There's like 3 lines by your like avatar in the bottom right to open up the menu. This is where you can redeem your codes as well if you ever get a code. And then somewhere in there's Quest Plus. You can click on that. You'll see the 2 games. You'll see the games catalog, and you can redeem the 3 months right there. And then you can obviously cancel it if you're done and cherry pick and buy the games that you actually liked in the end. But yeah, worth doing just because you can miss it. Over to you, Samson. What else you got?
Yeah, I'm going to say you want to start playing in small bursts. I'd recommend 15 to 30-minute sessions. You want to really develop those VR legs because it can be kind of exhausting just being in VR to start. I liken the feeling of coming out of VR in the first beginning parts of it to coming out of a movie theater during the daytime, where your body has to sort of do this quick readjustment. And you just like, you kind of just feel confused. You're like, whoa, oh yeah, it's not dark right now. And, or maybe it is dark out now, and then maybe that's a better time to start. I don't know.
It does start you off.
Also remember to stretch, because the amount of times I come out of breachers and my back just cracks, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot I have not been properly just bending my back at all.
Yeah. It's a good tip, and it's important because obviously, like I said, with something with Batman, it's a great game to jump in because you'll get excited with VR. At least that's my opinion on it. But still, though, like take it in short bursts, and plus, like also if you start feeling a little bit like headachy motion, like I don't suffer from motion sickness outside of VR, and I think most people don't, and they still can get motion sickness in VR. Like it is very different in a way, and if you just take it in 15-20 minute bursts, just give yourself like a 10-minute rest and go back into it and such. That's much better than just trying to power through, because once you get past the threshold and you get that motion sickness, you're done for like I'm done for like an hour. I have to sit down and I just do not feel good for like a good hour, and you won't want to go back in, so don't push through. I've definitely done that before.
Well, Dan, Google AI tells me that roughly 1/3 of people are highly susceptible to motion sickness, and most of the rest will get motion sick under extreme conditions. So in other words, 80% of the general population is susceptible to medium to high motion sickness.
Well, there you go. There you go. My second tip would be not game related. I highly recommend that you download either Moon VR or Skybox for movie watching. It's a big selling point, and Meta doesn't really have a good app to watch movies. It has the Quest TV that you can play your content if you put content on there, if you put it from your computer onto your headset, but it just doesn't. It's not great. You can't resize
You can do
the
it
screen.
in big screen too, right?
Yeah, but it's not. What I'm trying to say is that Meta doesn't have like a pack-in app that's really good with it, which is really bizarre, right? Like you'd think so, but maybe they want to make sure you do like a subscription service or so. But anyway, I'd probably give Moon VR the edge. They're both $10, I believe, or just a bit less in USD. Just because when you put the movie on it, you get the pass through, you get a few different scenes, which are nice. Skybox scenes might be the odd one, might be a little bit better, but you can actually scrape the box art. So if you do put a movie on there that you've got from downloading or so, you can put it on there and it will scrape the movie box art. So it actually kind of looks nice when you've got if you've got a digital movie library that you want to put on there. And both of those apps, they can stream from your computer if you wanted to just stream it from your computer as well. But if you don't want to go down that route and you want something a bit more simple, you don't know how to source your movies or such, or you just don't buy movies or download movies anymore, everything's streaming, right? Big screen is probably apt to get because then you can watch Disney Plus on there if you have a subscription. You have Prime, Pluto if you're in the States, and also they've got a bunch of movie rentals and other people stream too. There's like public lobbies where you can see other people might be streaming a movie, or they might be streaming like maybe a sports event sometimes and whatnot. And then you can just jump in and kind of watch that for free with everybody else or so. And you can mute everybody if you find them annoying or something like that. The only problem with big screen is that it doesn't have pass through, which is always a fun selling point of the VR. So that's one thing that you do miss with that. And if you are wanting to look at like Netflix or YouTube, they actually don't really have apps. Netflix used to have an app, but it was awful.
I think you can watch it in the browser now, though, right?
That's what I was going to say. Like YouTube and Netflix, You can access it through the browser, and you can do YouTube via big screen as well, I believe. But Netflix and YouTube can be done through the Oculus browser, and it actually works just fine with pass through as well.
And YouTube, I think, not for non-immersive video, you can do multiplayer.
Yes, so you can get multiplayer. Yeah, so you can get people watching it at the same time, which is cool. You can't do that with Netflix. But you can do that in big screen. If you both have like Disney Plus subscriptions, you can both watch Disney Plus together and such. So, yeah, that's my second point. Look out for those movies.
Very good. My second point now. Now, I feel like this is usually one of my go-tos for this type of advice, and that is to find something you like already or recognize, because maybe you're not a gamer. And so something you know from the real world, and try to find something that is that, similar to that, emulates that in VR/mixed reality. For example, Chess Club for chess, Table Tennis 11 table tennis, or that the Alien table tennis. The name is eluding me now, but that's also a Racket Fury. Is that?
Oh yeah. Racket
That's
Fury,
a pretty good one too.
Yeah.
If you don't want,
Racket Club's a fun one, even though it doesn't really exist, but it's kind of like pickleball, but
this is
squash.
Yeah, this is true. It also has pickleball in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Walkabout or Golf Plus for golf, including all the way down to like Angry Birds or Fruit Ninja, because those are generally games that people understand and are familiar with just from the mobile scene. That said, if you're into rhythm games, and most all of them are pretty good for new VR players, Beat Saber, Synth Riders, Smash Drums, Trombone Champ, Audio Trip, and a few others. I just picked up in the sale, Dan, a new one.
Oh, right.
Taiko Frenzy, I think.
I've not heard of that one.
Well, there you go.
Well, you have to talk about it in a future episode.
Yes, I have not played it yet. But yeah, lots of good VR games out there, lots of good rhythm ones, and lots of ones that do emulate. And what's the new one? The home sports.
Home sports, yeah.
Yep, that looks like it's got nice
decent
games.
reviews. Yeah, decent reviews.
So
Yeah.
that is my number 2 recommendation.
Also-
Find something that I think that you already sort of know or like, and try that in VR.
Also, with that point that you just made, Chess Club, 11 Table Tennis, really good mixed reality games. Miracle Pool, another one that could be thrown into that
that's a good
example that you just said. And also really fun to play in mixed reality because then the other person is in your room and it's kind of weird, but also really cool and futuristic. We're talking about 2025. And also Walkabout, as we've talked about a lot of times in the show, amazing social VR game. And Golf Plus, also an amazing social VR game as well, especially if you're into golf as well. So yeah, really good suggestions there.
Thank you.
Really good sessions. And there you go. There's 4 tips to kind of get you started. If you do have any questions or you had I'm just going to say questions. If you have questions or queries or such, ask them. Come join our Discord. It's a friendly community where we welcome all newcomers. Because sometimes the VR multiplayer scene can be a bit off-putting.
Dan, we've got a new section that's called Been Playing, thanks to Future-Proof. And I'm loving it. I've been posting a good amount of screenshots and whatnots, talking about my shenanigans with Noble Squashy. Void got in there, talked about Green Hell Co-op, and it's just, come on down, share what you've been playing, see what other people have been playing, and just have some good old VR chatter.
Yeah, good old VR chatter. Anyway, that'll do for part 1. In part 2, we're going to go into our predictions for the new year, as well as some New Year's resolutions that we probably won't even keep. And also our January VR picks to look forward to as well. So we'll have it all in part 2. So we'll see you then.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic, feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
All right, welcome back to part 2 of this episode, where we're now going to go into our predictions for the new year, New Year's resolutions, and obviously go through our January VR picks to look forward to. All right, Samson, we're going to go through the predictions first, and we've both chosen 3 different predictions. I think.
Dan, have you looked at mine?
Yeah, I've looked at your list. We've meant to pick 3 predictions. I think Samson's gone for 7 because he's just gone like Hail Mary, basically. But anyway, we'll get to that.
I've basically got some LOL predictions, some joke ones, if you will.
We love it. We love a few joke ones. So we've got these predictions now. Obviously, when it comes to predictions, we don't have a clue what's happening. We have no idea. They're probably all going to be wrong, but it's all for the fun of this show. So Samson, why don't you start off?
No, let's do our real ones, and then I'll throw the joke ones at the end.
Yeah, okay. You start off.
I'll start with my real one. Okay.
Yeah.
Dan, this year I can't wait when Beat Saber finally releases its mixed reality mode, and I can finally play Beat Saber out at work when I've got breaks. Like I've been enjoying Trombone Champ and Smash Drums and Synth Riders, all the currently now superior rhythm games to play because of this. But this year is the year that Meta does it. They got their shit together. Mm-hmm. They continue to release music packs, but they've also created mixed reality mode.
Yeah, I
what a year!
I think you predicted this last year, and
did
I'm pretty sure.
I'm just gonna do it every year until they do it.
I'm pretty sure. But hey, you can keep saying it because I would 100% go back into Beat Saber at least for a little bit if it had mixed reality. Because the thing is, it's so important. I mean, really appreciate it when it comes to the rhythm games because you feel so surrounded, so aware of your surroundings, which is really important. And also, it does look really cool with Synth Riders does it really well with the portal and it flying. And if you look behind you, you can see it going off.
Yeah, and when you hit the challenges or like the certain parts, it sends cool visuals along your walls and your ceiling.
Yeah.
Same with well, depending which mode you select on Smash Drums, it'll do that too.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be. I think it's got to be it, right? Because Supernatural just got mixed reality this year. So and that's very Beat Saber like in terms of what it's doing, right? So surely.
Don't call me Shirley.
Sure.
But I do think Beat Saber will get mixed reality mode.
Okay, I'm going to start off with a light one as well. Then I'm going to say Max Mustard will get an expansion of levels this year.
You think so?
I hope so. I should have said that these are predictions / hopes. I think that game did so well. I think critically it did really well, and I think I'm hopeful that the sales were really well. At least in my like circles, everyone.
Yeah,
seems
I don't
to
think
love
so.
It. No, I'm hoping so.
They laid people off.
Yeah, I know that, but a lot of studios did that. A lot of places did that, but I think I'm hoping because obviously they've been putting out like Richie's Plank Experience stuff as well, and I think this is a really solid game. And now that more people have Quest 3s and Quest 3Ss now, I think they need to kind of double down on this game and. Forget doing like a Max Mustard 2, obviously that one in the future, but like give us some like lost levels. Give us a whole new world or two, like just a little expansion that maybe when you beat the game you get these levels or something like that, right? Whether it's like paid DLC obviously makes sense, but like something like that just bring some more levels into the game. I mean, I've still not beat it, so I got plenty of levels left to play, but
damn, man.
I know I've not beaten anything last year. I think my one New Year's resolution for last year was to finish more games. No. I'm not saying it's a different one, but I'm just saying. Anyway, so expansion levels. That's what I'm hoping for. That it will get a nice little update later on in the year. Maybe towards the end of the year. But yeah, I'm back to you.
Dan, I've got more great news because we finally also got our first Walkabout VR IP course, and is that Moss? I think it might be Moss. Dan, we got a Moss Walkabout course coming out this year.
I like that prediction. And why Moss out of
it just seemed like a good one that has an established world that is already sort of, I don't know, I feel like the Moss scale, like as you're playing Moss, you could take each one of those little sections and sort of turn it into a course or play with this, the scale and all that. And so I just, it's got its character, and I just feel like Polyarch is pretty big. They've been in VR for so long. I don't know. I had to take a guess on some game. I think
it's a good one. I think it's a good one. And also, look, in Holiday Hideaway, they shrunk you down to a mouse kind of size. So they've kind of, they like to, I mean, we've seen recently, this year at least, they like to kind of mix mechanics or have some sort of like inspiration from one course to the other or so. I think that's actually a very safe bet. If there's going to be one, I think Moss is a very good safe bet.
To all the listeners or watchers or viewers or however you're taking this in, if you think Walkabout should IP a different game, what do you think? Which VR game should they work with?
Yeah, I actually really like the idea of Moss. I think that's a great shout, to be honest. A really good shout. If it's going to be an IP, but maybe there's something that I'm missing. Obviously, I think something like a extravagant as Batman and such won't really happen. I think Moss is a safe bet, and it's a big VR.
Batman
title.
Doesn't really count as like a VR IP, right?
Yeah, that doesn't either. Yeah, it doesn't either. And I don't know if that was fit in the kind of fun walk. They'll have to go like not Batman Arkham Shadow. They'll have to go Batman like from the 1950s with Adam
nice.
West and such. If they were
drinking milk.
Yeah, exactly. If they were going to go that far, that would fit the mold. But I don't think that would happen. I think Moss is a great shout. Moss is a great shout.
All right, Dan, what you got number 2?
Okay, so this one took a bit of research. So my prediction is that you won't find out what is happening in terms of like what the big 4 games are until probably summertime. You know, you got another VR game showcase that will happen. Maybe Meta are going to do their own one. Who's to say? They missed it this year, but who's to say they're very inconsistent when it comes to these things. By the way, where was the bloody Quest Wrapped? Where was that?
Yeah, now's not the time for that rant. You're in the middle of your predictions.
I'm just saying. I went through Meta's studios that they bought. Okay, and obviously they kind of closed down a couple. Ready at Dawn being the biggest one. Like I think my prediction last year was Lone Echo is finally going to come to Quest, and it never happened. And they actually ended up closing Ready at Dawn, I think in August, in 2024. Yeah. So that yeah, even if that was going to happen, it's not going to happen. But anyway, so I went through all of the studios, and they have. Let me just go through them because maybe some people don't know. Twisted Pixel Games did Path of the Warrior, which is their probably biggest game. Armature did the Resident Evil 4 remake. Camouflage did Batman. Sanzaro Games did Asgard's Wrath and Asgard's Wrath 2. Beat Games, Beat Saber. Big Box VR does Population 1, and Downpour Interactive do Onward VR. So looking on that list, Downpour Interactive with Onward, Beat Saber with Beat Games, Big Box VR, Pop 1, they're their games, and it seems like they're not going to... Maybe, if anything, Downpour Interactive will do something else other than Onward.
Big Box has something after Pop 1. After they went free to play, I feel like they must have started working on something else.
The next one, the next something, yeah. Maybe.
They'll have a few people doing skins and bugs and stuff like that, and then other folks cooking.
Yeah, so that might be a good shout. I wasn't thinking that, but that you raise a good point. Sanzaro Games obviously just came out with Asgard's Wrath 2. They ain't going to come out with anything until Quest 4. Camouflage just did Batman. They're not going to come out with anything until Quest 4. There's probably hard at work at Batman 2 already, to be honest, of how well that did. 100%. No, they already...
New IP.
No, I think they're going to go... I think they try and do another Batman. If they can. It depends on Warner Brothers, to be honest. But anyway, what I'm trying to say here is that we've had nothing from Armature since the Resident Evil 4 remake, which came out in Quest 2, and we've had nothing from Twisted Pixel Games, which their last game was Path of the Warrior, and that came out in 2019. So we've had nothing from them two for a very, very long time. So I think, and same with Camouflage. Camouflage, we had nothing for a long time. They had Iron Man, obviously, but Iron Man VR was on PSVR 1, and they just ported it to the Quest. So they had nothing for a while, and then lo and behold, they've been working from Batman since 2020, right? So I think we're going to finally get what Twisted Pixel Games and Armature have got. Now, Armature might just be a studio for ports, and if that's the case, then maybe they can do a Lone Echo port, who's to say? But I think Twisted Pixel Games and Armature both, you'll see their games. I don't know what it will be. I have no idea. But I think you'll see them. But Big Box is a good shout too. I didn't really think of that. I thought they'll just be purely on Pop 1, but it's not as big as Beat Saber or anything, is it? But I don't know. It's a big studio just for a free-to-play game and such, but who's to say? But that's a good shout too. But yeah, anyway.
Do you think that more games come out next year from Meta Studios than Meta closes VR Studios?
I hope so. The Ready at Dawn was a really surprising one. Out of all of the studios, if I would have named all those studios with Ready at Dawn in there, you would have never thought Ready at Dawn would be the one to be closed down. But they're also a very big studio because they created a lot of big PlayStation 4 games. Order 1886 was one, for example. Another one that I've now lost in my head, but they've created a few big games on there, and then obviously gone into the VR world with Lone Echo and Lone Echo 2. And Lone Echo 2 didn't do really well, but I think that was kind of Meta's kind of fault in a way, because like when they released Lone Echo 2, everyone was on Quest at that point. And you could only buy it from the Quest, the Rift store, so it was locked to a specific platform. They should have just released it on Steam as well, but they really locked that into the wrong platform. So yeah, that was the one that you'd probably think they wouldn't, but like maybe
They
because
should
of
get
how big
Lone
the studio
Echo
is.
and Lone Echo 2 on the PlayStation VR 2.
I agree. They should definitely, or they for sure can get Lone Echo 1 on the Quest. For sure. If they can get Asgard's Wrath 2 running on Quest 2, they can get Lone Echo. It's just if they want to invest in it, or they just want to go new IP. But yeah, that's my second prediction. What's your third one, Samson?
My third one, Dan. Oh, what's that? That's the news of the Quest 4. And guess what? It's got eye tracking, baby. Because Dan, guess what? Quest 4 is coming out October 2026, right? This has got to be happening. So it's 2025. We're getting news and leaks of this 2024 Quest for sure this year. We're finding something out about like hard details.
Something, yeah. I agree with you. As sadly as Bradley's probably going to find something.
No, he doesn't do that anymore. He's past that.
That's true. He's Deckard only. But yeah, I think that's a great idea. They've been awful at leaks. I feel like they just didn't care about the Quest 3S leaks. They were like, it's fine, whatever.
It's just marketing. But speaking of Deckard, probably also maybe.
You might see it. I don't know. I'm not too sure. But yeah, Quest 4 eye tracking. I like it.
Yep, there you go. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is I've been looking at what games are out this year that we know of. There's a game called Wanderer, The Fragments of Fate, which is a remake. The Wanderer came out on the PC back in 2022, I think, or something like that. It's a VR escape room adventure in which you travel through time, solving puzzles to fix the present. You can obviously watch some of the game on YouTube and such and whatnot, but it looks very good and it looks very interesting itself. And it actually reviewed really well on the actual PC itself, with Upload VR saying it's around 10 hours of innovative puzzling, and it's really engaging, and it's a great world, but just a few bugs at the time, and they said they didn't absolutely love the story, but overall, like, solid reviews galore, and they're completely kind of remastering it, repackaging it, and bringing it out on Quest itself. I don't think they have a date. It's actually meant to come out this year, or 2024 rather.
It keeps getting delayed, then they were like, "Screw it, we're not doing a date now."
Yeah. So, but I think that's a good thing. I read their statement on the last delay, and it seems like they're just like super passionate to try and get it as well as what it had on the PC, and they're just taking their sweet time to do it. And hopefully it does come out this year. But I think when it does, I think it's going to be a hit. I think it's going to be a really good game. I don't know anything about just looking on, from YouTube and watching how that game is, but I think it's going to be a very strong game for the Quest, to be honest. But probably won't come out till September.
I love how boldly you're stirring the hype train on this game that
not much about.
I've seen so little about.
I've just watched some YouTube and I've read the review of Upload VR of the original game. I think that's a decent amount.
Heard good things. I have heard good things. It is also in my Steam library, so get to it.
Yeah, get to it. All right, Samson, what is your 3 stupid predictions?
Oh, yes. They're LOL predictions, Dan. They're not stupid.
Okay.
Because, Dan, have you heard Meta has changed the name of the Meta phone app again? It's now the Horizon app. And they've changed it again because it's no longer the Horizon app. It's whatever they made it. I didn't think the joke all the way through, all right? Number 2, Meta creates AI users to flood Meta Horizon with power users. So now you have AI squeakers in your games.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Number 3, Meta closes 2 more in-house VR studios. This is kind of a fun one with yours.
Yeah, it's like the polar opposite.
Number 4, Meta releases 2024 recap in April and apologizes for being late.
The 2024 Wrapped, that's hilarious.
There you have it, Dan.
Would you be happy if the Wrap came out, at least? If
And
it
it's not
just
coming
came
out. It's already 2025.
Yeah. It's weird. Like everything had a wrap. Even like my partner's fitness like studio that she goes to had a wrapped.
Yeah.
Like everything has a wrap now, and it's so much fun. But they didn't have one, which was really shame and really sad. Actually, it was always fun to see.
Always. I think we only had it once, but it was a good once. It was, that was a great one night stand, and I wish it had turned into a relationship.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Bit weird meta. Sometimes they just aren't consistent. That was a really good one to keep as well.
Listen, they just don't have the manpower for it. It's too big of a task to get that recap out.
Yeah, I feel like it's too big. Anyway, before we rant and rave, Samson, let's go into some shorter topics here. The VR New Year's resolutions. I kept this simple. I just went with one because,
It's a resolution.
My resolution is to complete 2 games this year. And I'm counting Batman. Batman.
Okay.
Even though I started it counts. Still, for me to finish Batman, considering I've still got 60% of the game left, is still quite big.
Yeah, and if you did, what's the other one? Assassin's Creed, right? You're almost.
I'm so close to that. Yeah.
Boom! Come on, Dan, knock these out.
That's true. I just got to polish a few off here. Okay, what is your New Year's resolution?
All right, Dan. I'd like to keep track of the games I play, like some notes on them. So, like, kind of what I'm feeling, how I felt, etc. And I would like to finish Batman, and I'd like to platinum / get all the achievements in Trombone Champ.
Well, with keeping track and notes of the games you play and what you're feeling, isn't this your podcast every single week that you talk about what you're playing?
Yeah, but more like a dedicated document just for that, so I could.
So you can have your own meta recap.
One place, yeah. So I can do my own freaking recap myself.
I can see where you're going there. That's exactly where you were heading. Yeah, Platinum Trombone Champ. Oh, you have it on the PlayStation. I did not realize that. But yeah, amazing. All right, that's our New Year's resolutions. Let us know if you have any New Year's resolutions in the Spotify comments or on Discord or on YouTube.
Hey, Dan.
And such.
I got a little plug here because there might be some Warhammer fans out there, and Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Tempestfall, which is as far as reviewers are concerned, a pretty average VR game at best.
Nice.
But it's being delisted. They're losing their Warhammer license. And so on January 10th, it will be delisted from all platforms. And until then, I believe it's 90% off, maybe.
Wow.
It looks like it's $4 USD on the Quest store. I think I got it for $3 on Steam. And so from air date, I think you have about a week. If it's after January 10th, 2025, sorry.
You missed out. Wow, 90% off. Okay. There's a lot of those happening, right? Randomly, like the publisher puts out a code for 90% off random games.
Here and there, but this one is more
because they're going
lost. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. All right. Final thing to round off the show here. Let's look ahead at this month. Well, not as far as ahead as we just did, but just for this month. So we've got a bunch of new games that are releasing in January 2025. And obviously after each show, apart from this one, because there is no games out this week, we'll have games out this week after every, at the end of every show, as we always do. But we just want to pick out a few here that we're interested in. And the first one I'm want to say that I'm really interested in is one that actually comes out at the end of the month. It's called Shardfall. Shardfall was shown in the Winter Game Showcase for Upload VR. And it's interesting to me because it's a fitness game, but it looks like it's more disguised as a game rather than a dedicated like working out. It seems like there's if none of you know, there's a thing called Black Box VR, which is out in somewhere in California. I think they have a couple locations, where you can work out in VR basically, but you're using these equipment that adds resistance training and such. Definitely check it out on the website Black Box VR. It's really cool. But this seems like it's taking some of the elements from that kind of concept where obviously there's no like resistance area, which is one of the big main points of Black Box, but the actual game itself is like, it looks like a standard normal VR game, but it's disguised as like an actual working out itself. So
as
I'm pretty
opposed to a fitness game, you think it's more of a game fitness.
Yeah. It's kind of like in a way, like a game like After the Fall, for example. That one's a very like fitness kind of feeling game, but that's
until
Yeah.
the Fall's a zombie game.
After the Fall, the zombie one. So Until You Fall.
Is that it? It's not.
I don't
think that's it.
Till You Fall. It's Until You Fall. Yeah. Okay. We got it right.
Nailed it.
I nailed it. Shardfall. Until You Fall, though, is that kind of, it has like, you get exhausted and it's kind of like, it feels like a fitness game, but that's not designed for a fitness game.
Yeah,
it's like,
there's a boxing game out there kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly. But this one is very interesting. I just want to. It looked really interesting in the winter showcase itself. I want to see how it plays, but I kind of want to wait until reviews come out itself. But the art style looks really good as well. But it does have a range. Like, it's not just boxing. There's like some running aspects to it as well, and some like dodging and diving and all that stuff. So it's not just pure just like beating up the guy in front of you or whatever. There's a lot more to it. So yeah, I'm very interested in Shardfall. What about you?
Well, Dan, there was a Pirates VR Jolly Roger game looking out there, and it's for Steam on the PC VR. It looks like it's about 4 to 6 hours of content, sort of an action adventure. And at first I kind of skipped right over this one. Then I took a second look, and it looks kind of fun.
Arr.
You gonna enjoy it? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Is it, this is on PC?
Yes, PC, and it says it's coming to PlayStation VR 2 eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd say Q1 or something, I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Very, very good. The other one that I was really interested in is Human Within. This actually comes out next week on January 9th.
Oh, you got a beginning and an end of the month. Huh?
Yeah, and maybe I should have said this one first. But anyway, this is January 9th. Human Within, this got announced like a few months ago for a January release. And it's a very interesting game, how it like blends in 3D gameplay, like VR in a way, but then it has 2D cutscenes, and it's like actual actors and such, and then there's mixed reality. I had no idea there was a game that came out on Xbox back in the day called Quantum Break, which seemed very similar, where you have like the game, but then it goes to the cutscenes and such.
It's kind of like an FMV movie or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So it's interesting. The actual gameplay aspects of it doesn't look too interesting from the trailer. It looks very basic, but it's one of those games that like the way you play determines on where the story goes. So there might be different endings and such in this game itself. But it's an interesting, and the Human Within, I'll read the quick synopsis. It basically focuses on how AI and similar technology influence humanity, which is obviously a bit more relevant of like today and such. I'm not sure if it's going to be kind of like Black Mirror-esque, but very interesting because it's very unique. We don't really have a game like this in a way on Quest, at least standalone. So apparently there's a Steam version coming out as well, but not on January 9th, like somewhere down the road. That's Human Within.
You have it.
How about you?
Arkham Age, Dan. Arkham Age has been on my radar for a bit. Developed by Virtue Vios VR. Arkham Age is a single-player action adventure game that's been in development for 3 years, set in a terraformed world called the Biochasm that's filled with unique life forms, strange artifacts, and endless danger. You're tasked with investigating the disappearance of this world's divine founder, the Grand Arborist. That means there's going to be trees, Dan. And it's one thing I like, it's trees. So,
do you like trees?
Yeah, big fan.
Very well.
So Arkham Age is going to be a good one. It's going to be a gem. I don't want to hype it up yet, but I'm looking forward to it at the very least.
Fair enough. All right, cool.
And then Dan, honorable mention, because there's a little tower defense game by, I think it was Resolution Games, Gears and Goo, and it just looks. I like a mindless game like this that you can kind of just like.
But wait,
chill out.
Wait, it only comes out on Apple Vision Pro.
No way.
Yeah, it's only on Apple Vision Pro.
Oh no, Dan.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No.
It's a mixed reality tower defense game, and it looks sick. It actually looks really fun. It looks really good. Yeah, I agree with you.
All right, Dan. I hope
That's
they
why
bring
I didn't.
I hope they bring it to me. I hope they bring it to MetaQuest.
Very weird that it's only on, but maybe there was like a little deal between Resolution Games, but I'm not sure. But it looks wicked. Like it looks really good. Like
Dan, I'm so sad.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's why I thought this one looked really good too, and it comes out next week, but I didn't put it on the list because it was Apple Vision Pro.
I'm so sad.
Yeah. Okay, that's the way we end the show. Thanks so much for joining us in our first episode of 2025. Once again, a little bit of a different kind of style episode, but next week we'll probably be back to the normal kind of style episode itself. But thanks for everyone watching, thanks for everyone listening. Welcome to all of the new listeners and such who have just picked up their Quest headsets as well. Remember, Discord links in the description. There's affiliate links in the description too. There's also other stuff in the description that I can't remember, but
we
just have a
stuff it all down there. It's much little fit.
We put it all in there. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I have been Dan. He has been Samson. He absolutely loved. I'm going to keep this going. I'm keeping this for the whole 2025, and we're out.